Guess what? My family and I are traveling abroad next week, Wednesday.
I want you to wipe all of them out of this earth. They must not travel out of this country.
But they plan to help you.
Tina, guess what? My family and I are traveling abroad next week, Wednesday. Congratulations, girl. I'm so happy for you. But deep inside, Tina's heart whispered something darker. Your journey ends here. You will not travel. You and your family will disappear from this earth. They lived in the wealthy district of Abuja, where the roads were pristine and houses stood like monuments of success. People knew them as a peaceful family, no drama, no scandal, just love and quiet prosperity. The man of the house was Marcus, a calm, hardworking businessman who loved his family deeply. His wife, Sylvia, was kind, soft-spoken, and always wore a gentle smile. Together, they had 2 daughters. Their firstborn, Grace, was 18 years old, a beautiful young woman with glowing brown skin, a gentle voice, and thoughtful eyes that seemed to see beyond the surface of things. Their younger daughter, Mercy, was 12, bright, playful, and full of innocent laughter. From the outside, their life appeared perfect, and truly, it was. They were wealthy, but not arrogant about it. Their daughters attended excellent schools. The dining table was never empty. Laughter echoed through their home. People respected them. But what many didn't know was that Sylvia had a close friend named Tina. They weren't sisters by blood, but they were closer than most siblings. They had hustled together in Abuja years ago. 2 young women trying to make it in the big city, sharing dreams, struggles, and late-night conversations about the future they hoped to build. Then life took them in different directions. Sylvia met and married a wealthy man who showered her with everything she'd ever wanted. She moved to an upscale neighborhood, drove expensive cars, and lived a life they had once only dreamed about together. Tina, on the other hand, got pregnant by her boyfriend, a man who promised her the world but disappeared the moment he learned about the baby. Heartbroken and alone, Tina moved from the bustling heart of Abuja to Lube, a quiet village on the outskirts of the city. There, she gave birth to a son she named Daniel. Life was hard, but Tina was resilient. She worked odd jobs, struggled to put food on the table, and raised Daniel with whatever strength she had left. Despite her own success, Sylvia never forgot her friend. She was kind, or so it seemed. Every month, Sylvia sent money to Tina. She sent bags of food, clothes for Daniel, sometimes even brand new items still with tags attached. Each time the package arrived, Sylvia would call and say sweetly, "Please make sure you're okay. Tina, you're my sister in every way that matters." But each time Tina opened those bags, her face told a different story. She would pick up a dress, examine it from top to bottom, and hiss. She would look at the food items and shake her head bitterly. Sometimes she would laugh a dry, hollow sound and mutter, "I don't blame you. You're giving me your leftovers. This life just didn't favor me." She would throw the clothes on the bed and mumble angrily, "Just because you married well and have a perfect family, you think you can send me scraps? You're sending me pity." Jealousy lived in her heart, quietly growing like a hidden cancer. Yet Sylvia never noticed. She genuinely believed her friend's bitterness was just the pain of struggling through life. She never imagined that envy could live in someone she considered a sister. Inside Sylvia's house, there was so much love, but there was one thing missing: prayer. Grace noticed it early. Her parents rarely prayed, but her Sunday school teachers always emphasized the power of prayer. Grace never took it lightly. Every night, when the house became quiet, Grace would kneel beside her bed and whisper prayers with tears streaming down her face. Sometimes she would walk to her parents' room and say softly, "Dad, Mom,
Daddy,
can we
Mom,
pray
can
before we
we
sleep?"
pray before we
Her father would wave his hand dismissively. "Grace, we're tired. God understands." Her mother would smile gently. "Tomorrow morning, sweetheart." But morning would come, and Grace would try again. "Please, let's pray before we go out." The answer was always the same: "We're running late. We'll pray later." Is today any different from other days? Grace would step back quietly. She never argued or forced them. She would simply kneel alone and pray. "Lord, my God, you are the God who sees everything. Please watch over my family. Protect us. Her heart always felt heavy, even when everything looked perfect on the surface. One evening, Marcus came home beaming with excitement. "Honey, girls, come here. I have amazing news," he shouted. Sylvia rushed out. "What is it, darling?" "Our visas have been approved. We're relocating to the United States." Sylvia screamed with joy. Grace smiled quietly. Mercy jumped up and down, clapping excitedly. Plans began immediately. Documents, packing, goodbyes. Sylvia's heart overflowed with excitement, and she decided to visit Tina in Lube to share the good news. She dressed beautifully, packed gifts, and drove to her friend's modest home. When Tina saw her, she forced a wide smile. "Girl, you're glowing. Come in, come in." They sat, talked, and laughed. Then Sylvia said the words that changed everything. "Tina,
guess what?
we're
My family and
relocating
I are
abroad."
traveling abroad
The
next
room
week,
seemed to
Wednesday.
freeze. Tina felt like someone had slammed a wooden plank against her chest. "Abroad?" she whispered. "How? So, you're leaving me here?" Sylvia laughed and squeezed her hand. "Don't worry, babe. Once we settled, I'll bring you over. Everything will be fine." Tina forced a smile, her throat tight. "When exactly are you traveling?" Sylvia answered without hesitation. "Next week, Wednesday." "Wow, so soon," Tina said, her voice strained. They hugged. Sylvia left feeling happy and hopeful. But the moment the door closed, Tina's face twisted with rage. She stood up, pacing the small room like a caged animal. "You want to enjoy life and leave me here to rot?
leave me here
Only
to
you with a
rot.
good husband. Only you with beautiful children, money, success, and now, abroad." She laughed a dry, evil laugh that sent chills through the air. "Come and go. Let me see you smiling when I'm done." That night, jealousy made a decision that would destroy lives. Sleep didn't come to Tina. She tossed and turned, sweat covering her body, anger burning in her chest. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Sylvia smiling, Marcus holding his daughters, all of them boarding a plane and waving goodbye. Her hands clenched into fists. "God forbid I let them travel. My heart can't take this. I need to do something." By morning, her mind was made up. She dressed and walked out without a word to Daniel. Her feet led her deep into the forest in a neighboring village, a place people feared to go. There lived Papa Algon, a powerful herbalist known across the region. His name alone sent shivers down spines. People said he could heal, case, or kill with equal ease. When Tina arrived, Papa Algon sat outside his shrine, chewing cola nut, his eyes sharp and knowing. "I've been expecting you," he said in a gravelly voice. Tina poured out her hearth of poverty, her shame, her jealousy. When she finished, Papa Algon studied her quietly. "Your friend means you no harm. She plans to help you. Leave her alone." Tina stood up, trembling with rage.
I don't
want her help.
Kill them
I don't want them to
all.
travel.
They must
I want them
not
dead,
travel
all of them.
out of-
Wipe them off this earth.
I want you to wipe
shrine
all
went
of them
silent.
out of this earth.
Then Papa Algon spoke again, his voice low and dangerous. "There's a price. A heavy price." He reached behind him and brought out a small black calabash. "Tonight, you will walk barefoot to the crossroads at midnight. You will call your friend's name 7 times. After today, this calabash must stay under your bed forever. Wherever you go, it follows you. If you break it, the curse returns to you." Tina didn't hesitate. "I agree, as long as they die." That night, under a moonless sky, Tina walked barefoot to the crossroads, clutching the calabash. Fear chased her, but madness led her forward. She stood at the center of the crossroads and whispered into the night, "Sylvia, Sylvia, 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 Sylvia." She lifted the calabash high and spoke with keen hatred. "Sylvia, your journey ends here. You will not travel.
Sylvia,
You will not
you
fly.
will not travel.
You and your family
You will not fly.
disappear from this earth." Then she laughed slow, cold, and wicked. When she returned to Papa Algon, she told him the exact travel date. He nodded slowly. "It is done." Tina went home smiling, the calabash hidden under her bed. While evil was working in the darkness, Grace was praying in the light. That same night, Grace woke up suddenly, her heart pounding. She felt a sharp pain in her stomach and a heavy weight pressing on her chest. She fell to her knees beside her bed, tears streaming down her face. Lord, my God, I don't understand this feeling. Something is wrong. Please watch over us. Show us mercy. Protect my family. She slept with fear gripping her heart. The travel day arrived. The house buzzed with activity boxes everywhere, suitcases stacked by the door. Grace woke up feeling weak, her stomach twisted with anxiety. She went to her parents. Dad, Mom, please, can we pray today? I had a terrible dream. I don't feel good about this journey. Her father laughed. Grace, is this the first time we're traveling? Stop worrying. Her mother smiled reassuringly. Sweetheart, you're just nervous. Go get dressed. Grace walked back to her room quietly. She locked the door, fell to her knees, and prayed with everything in her. Lord, my God, if there is danger ahead, please save us. Please. They climbed into their sleek SUV and drove toward the airport. As the car moved smoothly down the highway, Grace began singing a soft worship song. Her father frowned. Grace, this obsession with church and prayer, please keep quiet. You're disturbing me. She stopped singing but continued praying silently in her heart. The road was smooth. The sky was bright and clear. Then, suddenly, out of nowhere, a massive trailer lost control. Its horn blared. Its brakes screamed and failed. Jesus! Grace shouted. Marcus tried to swerve, but it was too late. The trailer crashed violently into their SUV. Metal crushed metal. Glass shattered. Screams filled the air. The SUV spun wildly and slammed into the road divider. Then, silence. Crowds gathered. People rushed forward, pulling bodies from the wreckage. Marcus lay on the road, lifeless. Sylvia lay beside him, motionless. But in the back seat, Grace and Mercy were alive. Grace crawled out, blood on her clothes, her body shaking. She stumbled to her parents and shook them desperately. Dad! Mom! Wake up! Please! No response. She screamed. She prayed. She begged God. They didn't move. At the hospital, the doctor shook his head solemnly. I'm sorry. They are gone. That moment marked the end of their perfect life and the beginning of suffering no child should ever know. The burial came too quickly. 1 week, their parents were alive, laughing, planning a new life. The next week, they were laid in the cold ground. Grace stood beside the grave, holding her sister Mercy's hand tightly. She didn't cry loudly. Her tears flowed silently, soaking into the earth. Mercy kept asking, when will Mommy wake up? Nobody could answer her. After the burial, relatives disappeared one by one. Phone calls stopped. Smiles faded. Then Tina stepped forward. She wore black and cried loudly. My sister, my best friend, my own blood. People praised her. Thank God the children have someone who cares. Tina moved into the big house with her son, Daniel. At first, she acted kind, but it didn't last. Slowly, everything changed. Tina walked around the house like she owned it. That first night, she crept into Sylvia's room. Look at this room. Look at what my so-called friend was enjoying, she whispered bitterly. Now it's my turn. I'll paint all of Abuja red. She laughed a chilling sound that crawled through the empty house. The next morning, she stood in the doorway, blocking Grace. Useless girl. Like mother. Like daughter. You want to go to school and learn what? She sneered, lifting a glass of expensive juice she'd never tasted in her life. Take this tray of water sachets. You and your sister go out and sell them. But Auntie, please, Grace pleaded softly. I'm almost done with secondary school. Just let me write my final exams. How dare you talk back to me? Tina shouted, her voice sharp as fire. When your mother was alive, did she ever send me to school? Get out of my sight. Grace gripped Mercy's hand tightly. Together, they stepped into the scorching Abuja sun, carrying trays of water sachets, the heat beating down mercilessly. But Grace whispered a silent prayer, her heart burning with frustration, hope, and quiet determination. Food became scarce. Insults increased. Useless children. Your parents spoiled you. Tina took over the cars, the bank accounts, the properties. She drove through Abuja like a queen, wearing Sylvia's gold jewelry and designer clothes. Her new nickname became Madam Gold. The children became servants in their own home. Every night, when everyone slept, Grace would sit on the floor, hugging Mercy, crying softly. Memories flooded her mind, her mother's laughter, her father's voice, their warm home. Now she hawked water. She was beaten. She slept hungry. With tears in her eyes, she prayed quietly. Lord, my God, you see me. Please show us mercy. She never stopped praying. In the same house lived Daniel, Tina's son. Daniel was different. He watched his mother with growing fear. He watched Grace and Mercy with deep pity. Sometimes, when Tina wasn't around, Daniel would sneak into the kitchen, hide food, and bring it to the girls. Please eat, he whispered. I'm so sorry for what my mother is doing to you. At night, he would sit with Grace and pray quietly. God, please forgive my mom. Don't punish us for her sins. Grace always hugged him. You are not your mother, Daniel. You're a good person. As the days passed, something strange began to happen. Tina stopped sleeping well. At night, she would suddenly scream, Fire! Fire is burning me. She would pour buckets of cold water over herself for hours. Nothing helped. One night, she burst into Grace's room, her face twisted with rage. Stop praying, she roared. Stop it. She paced her room, whispering to herself, her words full of disbelief and fury. What kind of child is this? Why didn't Papa Algun wipe them all out? What saved these children? What kind of God is bigger than Papa Algun? But Grace prayed even more. One night, after praying, Grace fell asleep and had a vision. She saw a small black calabash filled with dirty water. Inside were 4 tiny figures tied with red cloth. She woke up shaking, her heart racing. She understood. The next day, Tina went to the mall in the city center. Grace watched carefully from the window, making sure her aunt was completely gone. Then she searched the house quietly, checking every corner. Finally, she looked under Tina's bed. Her breath stopped. There it was, the black calabash, filled with foul-smelling water. Inside were 4 figures tied with red cloth. Grace screamed. She dragged it out and lifted it high. Jesus, have mercy on us. She smashed the calabash on the floor. Water spilled everywhere, and the figures scattered across the room. At that exact moment, in the busy mall, Tina suddenly screamed, I can't see. I'm blind. Help me. She stumbled, knocking over displays, her hands reaching out desperately. People gathered around her. Some took videos. Others snapped pictures. What's happening to her? Is she okay? Someone call an ambulance. Tina collapsed on the floor, screaming and writhing. Fire! My body is burning. I can't see. Help me. They rushed her home. Tina was brought home screaming, her eyes wide open but seeing nothing. Her body burned with invisible flames. She rolled on the floor, shaking uncontrollably. Fire! I'm burning. Water! Give me water! Water was poured on her. Nothing helped. Grace stood in the corner, holding Mercy tightly. Daniel stood still, watching his mother, not surprised. Grace quickly called some family members. When they arrived, Tina began to cry and confess. Grace! Mercy! Please forgive me. It's jealousy. Jealousy destroyed me. She sobbed loudly, her voice breaking. I didn't want them to travel. I wanted everything they had. I went to Papa Algun. I cursed them. I asked for death. She confessed everything, how she hated Sylvia's success, how the gifts made her angry, how she walked to the crossroads at midnight. The herbalist warned me not to harm them, but I insisted. Please forgive me. The fire is killing me. Grace stepped forward, tears streaming down her face. My mother loved you. She always said you were her sister. She made sure you were okay. She wanted to take you abroad with us. Grace's voice cracked with pain. Now you've made us orphans. You took our parents from us. She held Mercy's hand and walked away. Tina begged for mercy, but it was too late. Her body shook violently. Her voice faded. Her breathing slowed. Before anyone could do anything more, Tina became lifeless. The house went silent. That night, Grace sat beside her sleeping sister. She wept softly, remembering her parents, their laughter, their love, their perfect life that had ended too soon. But then she lifted her head and whispered through her tears, "Lord, my God, thank you for seeing us. Thank you for fighting our battles. Thank you for showing us mercy." Peace entered her heart. Years later, Grace grew into a strong, wise, and compassionate woman. Now 25 years old, she took over her father's company and worked tirelessly. Under her leadership, the company grew bigger and stronger than ever before. It became a symbol of resilience and success. Daniel, now grown, worked beside her. He had changed, completely kind, loyal, and hardworking. Grace treated him like a brother, reminding everyone that children are not responsible for their parents' sins. One afternoon, Grace was having lunch in her office when she overheard a staff member say to another, "I'm planning to relocate next week. I'm so excited." Grace's heart clenched. She remembered everything: the accident, the death of her parents, the suffering, the long nights of prayer. She waited until closing hours. Then she called the young woman into her office. The lady walked in, nervous. Grace looked at her steadily. "Sit down," she said softly but firmly. "I heard what you said today." The lady swallowed hard. I didn't mean to." Grace raised her hand gently. "Listen carefully. Not everyone around you is genuinely happy for your success or your plans. Some people smile with you but secretly wish for your downfall. If you announce your journey before it happens, you might give them the chance to hurt you, like what happened to my family." The young woman nodded, wide-eyed, realizing the weight of Grace's words. "Do you understand?" Grace asked. "Yes, Ma," the woman whispered. Grace leaned back, her eyes softening. "Good. Remember, prayer protects the innocent. Be wise. Always." That night, Grace walked past her parents' old bedroom. She paused by the window, looking out at the glittering Abuja skyline. "Lord, my God, thank you for guiding us. Thank you for fighting our battles. Thank you for showing mercy." Mercy sat nearby, older, wiser, and safe. Daniel smiled from across the room. They had survived. They had overcome. And Grace knew one thing for certain. ***, never announce your plans too early. Not everyone who smiles with you is happy for you. Prayer protects those who trust God. And jealousy destroys everything it touches. Thank you for watching. Please share this story to your loved ones and to remind others to guard their blessings, protect their plans, and never skip a day without praying. Please do well to subscribe.
I don't need